Today we are looking at Rocket Lab's Electron that is quietly making all the right moves, except for launch number 13. That one didn't go according to plan. For those of you who don't know, Rocket Lab is an American company that is targeting the very low end of the satellite launch market, around 225 kilo payload to 500 km sun synchronous orbit. For perspective, SpaceX Falcon 9 can put 22,000 kilos into low Earth orbit, or more than 70 times the weight. And though the Rocket Lab name doesn't excite the same way SpaceX does, the little American company is working on some really cool out-of-the-box solutions similar to those that have made SpaceX so likable. So here are 5 cool things that I think make Rocket Lab Electron unique. Number 1. Rocket Lab is the only company to use electric pump-fed cycle rocket engines. Their Rutherford engine is the only currently commercially flying engine that uses this cycle. So what is the electric pump-fed cycle? In simple terms, electric motors powered by batteries pump fuel and oxidizer from low-pressure tanks into high-pressure combustion chamber. There is the disadvantage of added weight of the batteries, but the engine is comparatively less complex and easier to manufacture than, say, a gas generator cycle engine. Which brings us to number 2. Rocket Lab 3D prints most of the Rutherford engine. The pumps, injectors, combustion chamber, the works. Nearly everything is 3D printed. In fact, CEO Peter Beck told MIT Technology Review in 2019 that it was because of 3D printing that the Rutherford is one of the highest performing engines in the world. The first stage is made up of no less than 9 Rutherford engines arranged in a very Falcon 9 style, giving the Electron's first stage a total of 225 kilonewtons of thrust. Number 3, and this is my favorite, Rocket Lab wants to make the Electron reusable. Now with a small rocket like the Electron, you'd be hard pressed to really make a case for reusability. And in fact, Electron was never meant to be reusable.
So this is a Rocket Lab cap. This is a cap that I'm about to eat because I've said publicly a few times the various things that Rocket Lab would never do. So unfortunately, I find myself in the position of eating my hat.
But then what's the point of burning up 10 engines in the atmosphere every time you launch when you can just as easily use 9 of them again, right?
So Electron is going reusable.
Unlike SpaceX that chose the complex but fun to watch vertical powered recovery, Rocket Lab is going all Rambo on this thing, recovering the first stage as it parachutes down. It's not a new idea. In fact, the Americans used to recover falling film capsules from the Corona satellites using this very technique. There is that thrill of timing and the possibility of all going horribly wrong that make it so exciting. On 6 December 2019, flight number 10, the first stage re-entered the atmosphere and was slowed down to 900 km an hour by the time it hit the drink. More recently, a helicopter recovery test was successful where the booster was grabbed mid-air as it was flying down using a parafoil. Using a helicopter means no additional weight on the landing legs and no expensive software development. In fact, Falcon 9 can't utilize the full payload capacity while it is being recovered to conserve fuel for the vertical landing. Rocket Lab doesn't have to do any of it. Rocket Lab's approach is simpler and achieves the same result. Cool enough for a click of the like button, I say. Number 4. The naming convention. Unlike most rocket launches that are boringly named PSLV C-44 or STS-41G, Rocket Lab has some fun with its naming system. For example, the first launch of the Electron on 25th May 2017 was named It's a Test, and when it failed, the second launch was named Still Testing. You've got to love a company that has a sense of humor. Rocket Lab also pays homage to prominent Kiwis from the space community. The Rutherford engine, for example, is named after Ernest Rutherford, the father of nuclear physics, while the fourth launch was named This One's for Pickering, after former NASA scientist and Kiwi Bill Pickering. And the new rocket building Rosie the robot reminds most people of, well, Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. Number 5. Rocket Lab on its first ever successful launch also put something called the Humanity Star in orbit, a passive satellite that looked more like a disco ball. It didn't serve any purpose, much like SpaceX's Starman and the Roadster, but it did make a statement. So these were the 5 really cool things I absolutely love about the Electron and Rocket Lab. What are your favorite things about Rocket Lab? Speak your mind in the comment section. If you want to see more such fun videos, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon. Till then,